Base, I found one of your men. It looks like he blew himself up with a grenade. There are no signs of a firefight or any other evidence of him being attacked.
Kowalski here. Roger that, Major. Hey, I got good news. We finally acquired the exact coordinates of the source of interference. The signal is coming from the kindergarten building.
Is that really you? Well, I'll be. We were starting to think we'd never see our doc again. So what happened?
Well, it's a long story. I'll tell you another time.
Okay. Thanks for your help. By the way, the Colonel wants you to pay him a visit.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Also, Gary headed for Yanov's station to restock. He asked me to tell you that he won't be back for a few days.
Gotcha.
So, tell me, where were you?
You're not going to believe me anyway, but in a fridge.
What fridge? Where did you find it?
Where did I find it? I'd like to see you find anything in my estate.
And what state would that be?
Not quite sure how to describe it. Howdy.
I spoke to the HQ commander and reported the situation to him along with all the information that's been collected. There won't be any helicopter support for a while. He suggested that we fortify our position and await further orders. USS observers are currently at the HQ, so you'll be able to talk to your superiors soon enough.
Colonel, a radio signal has been detected, and its source is not far from the base. The transmission is encrypted, and I haven't been able to crack it yet.
Do you have the coordinates?
Yes, I have the coordinates, but the signal is intermittent, and it's moving.
Monolith again? The signal is back. Transmitting coordinates. The signal is gone. It's back. It's right next to you.
I don't see anyone.
It's close, and it's moving toward our base.
It's underground.
Major Kowalski here. You better get back here. We need to prepare for possible attack. Bastards won't catch us with our pants down this time. Don't shoot. I'm headed to the main entrance.
Who are you?
My name is S.T.A.L.K.E.R.
You're the stalker who disabled the Scorcher?
Yes, but my plan didn't work. I came here to speak with your commanders. I have information that will allow the army to take control of the zone and destroy it.
An emission is starting.
Come, let's talk inside.
We've got a problem. Our choppers are crashing for reasons that we've not understood yet.
Until we work it out, there won't be any helicopter support. The only way to get to the borders of the zone is on foot.
The reasons are obvious. There are many anomalies in the air, especially in the center of the zone.
We had a map with the safe air corridor between anomalies, and the helicopters had emission protection systems.
That's odd. You're telling me you haven't noticed that anomalies move around after an emission. Some disappear, and new ones show up in different places, which makes your map of anomalies effectively useless.
So that's what it is.
What?
Emissions don't just follow one another. If you can scan the area and identify all the anomalies, the choppers will be able to collect us safely, provided they're dispatched right after an emission.
We must inform the HQ of this as soon as possible.
I'll contact my commanders right after the emission. Lieutenant, get him on the line as soon as you can. It looks like the emission is over. Kirillov, contact HQ.
Roger. HQ on the line.
did comms go down?
Because of the emission, it's impossible to establish comms during one.
Okay. Alright, listen up. Operation Fairway is being taken over by the USS. Is Major S.T.A.L.K.E.R there?
Yes.
Okay. He's in command from now on. Tell him to stay put, to be contacted by his superiors shortly.
Roger.
Major, do you read me?
Major S.T.A.L.K.E.R here. I read you.
Good. As of this moment, you are responsible for completing Operation Fairway. Kowalski and the Stingray squad will assist you. Report.
I've managed to acquire documents about experiments carried out in the zone. Furthermore, we've been contacted by a stalker who's been in the CNPP. His name is S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and he's offered us his cooperation.
Roger. Accept his offer. You know what caused our helicopters to crash?
Yes, I have the data, and S.T.A.L.K.E.'s information confirms it. The helicopters were hit by anomalies after their locations changed during the emission. The anomaly map issued to the pilots turned out to be useless.
You heard the news, fellas. When we go, stick together and keep the stalker alive. Any questions? Get ready to move. Major, can I have a word?
about a dozen zombies in the building.
Свалил! Свалил одного!
We've got to move faster. Run!
Влепил, скотине! Оружие в бою!
Stingray, where are you?
We're on the way.
Our orders are to take off if we come under attack, so hurry the hell up.
Roger that. We'll be there soon. Stay alert and follow orders. We're real close to the evacuation point. Let's move!
Don't stop. Keep moving.
It's here.
Run.
Okay, run.
Major Detective, we're taking heavy fire from an unidentified enemy. We cannot hold out for long.
Come on, boys. One last push.
У нас 200-й! Получи! У нас убитый!
Major Diktarev, we're ready to go.
That's everyone except for the Stalker. He's dead. Prepare for takeoff.
Roger that.
Свалил! Еще одного!
Major Diktarev, we're ready to go.
Марш по броскам! Огонь!
It was worth it.
As a reward for successfully completing his investigation, Diktarev was offered a promotion to colonel and the position of mission coordinator. He declined the opportunity to work at the HQ and submitted a personal request to get the information about the development of psi devices obtained by Diktarev alerted USS commanders. All the information gathered on X-designated laboratories was removed from military archives and filed as top secret. All personnel working in the zone were ordered to prevent the disclosure of information about the laboratory. Several experimental samples were made on the basis of technical documents for Item 62. Following a set of test trials, it was decided not to go ahead with large-scale deployment of the weapon due to the high cost of ammunition. Nonetheless, it would be reasonable to assume that further development of the Gauss rifle is ongoing. Skadovsk became home to any and all who could reach it. Fierce Stalker resistance did not stop the bandits from making regular and ultimately unsuccessful attempts to establish their so-called order on the ship. Despite this, following the destruction of the Bloodsucker lair, it's unlikely that anything could significantly change the state of affairs on the Skadovsk. The old ship became a temporary center of stability. In the ever-changing, a fragile balance was reached between freedom and duty squads at Yanov Station. Tired of the endless struggle, fighters of both factions started leaving their squads and joining the Free Stalkers. Professors Herman and Ozersky were forced to cut short their scientific research in the zone due to a lack of data. On returning to the outside world, the two scientists proceeded to engage in unrelated work. Gary's stories about the Army's fate scared stalkers away from Pripyat. The few who dared to venture into the city ran into inexplicable phenomena, which added further dark strokes to an already gloomy picture of the dead city. The legend of the Oasis stopped being a legend. The identity of those who managed to find a way to the secret anomaly became an increasingly regular topic of conversation among stalkers. Despite this, the number of adventurers trying to find it remained high, something the bandits were quick to take advantage of, with constant offers to lead stalkers to the Oasis, which the area around Yanov Station gained a reputation for being one of the most dangerous places in the zone. Fewer and fewer stalkers make it back from raids, many dying at the hands of mutants within view of the camp. One of those missing is Trapper, who set out to track down a kite. Rumors of Zulu's fate reached the leader of Duty, General Veronin. Counter to most expectations, Veronin decided to posthumously award Zulu with the Silver Shield, Duty's highest decoration. Vano headed off to the freedom-controlled military warehouses, where his cheerful personality and optimism quickly earned him the popularity they merited. Ultimately, he took charge of a small group of researchers involved in investigating. Senior Lieutenant Sokolov continued to take part in flying missions over the zone. During one such recon flight over Limansk, his aircraft was shot down by mercenaries. 2 weeks later, he was picked up by a patrol near the cordon. Within a month of his rescue, Sokolov had left the Air Force. A group of stalkers was forced to seek shelter on Noah's old barge during a particularly powerful emission. When the barge was attacked by a horde of snorks afterwards, stalkers were forced to concede that the barge was as good a defense against mutants as anything they'd seen. Even more astonishing was a litter of pseudo-dog puppies that Noah himself led into. Having overcome his alcoholism, Kardin left the Skadovsk. Stalkers said he went to look for his missing friends. Several days later, he returned, suffering from wounds and radiation poisoning. As soon as his wounds healed, he left the zone for the second and final time. S.T.A.L.K.E.R passed on the information he obtained on his trip to the Chernobyl NPP to the USS commanders. This prompted the government to create a scientific institute for research of the Chernobyl anomalous area. S.T.A.L.K.E.R took up the position of. When Colonel Kowalski, commander of the Stingray Group, returned from the zone, he was forced to explain the reasons for the failure of Operation Fairway. Following a dragged-out investigation and the brass's failed attempt to make him the fall guy,